Hi everyone, this is Yasaf from the Journalist IT. Welcome to my video guide how to install WordPress step by step. This tutorial is part of my WordPress Basics series that I use for all of my WordPress courses online. In this series, I demonstrate how to install and configure WordPress on some of the most popular hosting platforms. And today, Cpanel on shared hosting account. So here on the left, I have my GoDaddy Cpanel console, and on the right, the same console provided by SiteGround. As you can see, there are different themes for the same console. In this video guide, I'm going to go over the steps side by side on both accounts so you can see the differences. If your hosting provider uses Cpanel, then the process will be very similar to what you'll see here. Our first step will be to find the WordPress installer. To do that, let's type WordPress in the search box. And then we need to click on the WordPress icon. And as you can see, the results are a bit different. So on GoDaddy, we'll click the WordPress icon, and at SiteGrounds, the WordPress installer icon. Both platforms provide us with a brief description of the app and a button to start the installation process. At GoDaddy, you'll find the button at the top, while at SiteGround at the bottom. So our next step is obviously to click on the button and start the installation. Our next step is to choose a domain to install on. You can only choose a domain which is already active on your account. So if your target domain is not in the list of domains, you need to manually add it. Also note that you can choose a domain with or without www. It doesn't really matter except for visibility, as you can submit your site to search engines either way. Then you need to choose target directory. To install on the root of your domain, leave this field blank. If you want to have WordPress installed on a subdirectory such as blog, type the directory name here, the directory field. On SiteGround, there is also an option to choose a protocol and have WordPress installed with SSL certificate. However, you must have that certificate already installed on your account, so to keep things as simple as possible for now, we'll switch to HTTP. Next, we need to provide basic website information and details for our admin account. So I'll scroll down a little bit, and for website name, I'll type my WordPress site, and for description, demo site. There is also an option to enable multi-site as part of the installation, but we don't need that. Next, we need to create an admin account, password, and email. You can either stick with the default settings or enter your own. Also, make sure to type in a valid email address. It will be very important for password resets in case you need them later on. We can now scroll down a bit further and choose the language for our website. I'm going to stick with English, and also additional plugins. Now, both of the plugins are security plugins. The first one will make it harder for hackers to guess your password by locking them out after several failed logins, while Clef is used for authentication with your smartphone without even using a password. I strongly suggest that you turn both of them on, but as Clef requires additional setup which is out of the scope of this guide, I will only select the first plugin. SiteGround also allows you to install additional theme called layers, so you can do that if you want. And under advanced options, you can also set database name and table prefix. For better security, it is very important to make sure that your table prefix is not simply WP underscore. I mean, it can't be something like that. This is very unsecure. So make sure that you write at least 3 or 4 characters followed by underscore. That's it. We are now ready to install. But before clicking on the install button, let's switch to GoDaddy and set up the installation there as well. So unlike with SiteGround, at GoDaddy we can select WordPress version to install. It's not any version, just the most recent one, and 2 versions back. When setting up a new site, it is highly recommended to choose the most recent one, so I'll stick to that. Then we need to accept the end user license agreement. The next feature is really cool actually. We can set up how we would like WordPress to update itself. My recommendation is to keep the settings update to minor version and security releases, and to enable automatic updates for plugins and themes. And of course, to create a backup before any update process. Remember, outdated plugins and themes are security holes. You must always make sure that all of them are up to date. Now we move on to the part of setting up an admin account, password, and basic website information. This is very similar to what we did on SiteGround, but just with a different UI. So I'll copy the admin username and password so I can use it later. For website title, again, I'm going to type my WordPress site and demo site. Next, we have the same settings we had during the installation on SiteGround. Clef for two-factor authentication, limit login attempts, and multi-site. I'm going to configure the setup the same way as before and to enable only limit login attempts. The advanced settings section at GoDaddy is all about backups, where to keep your backups and for how long. To keep things as simple as possible, I'll keep the automatically managed option enabled. You can always change it later in the application settings. And now we are ready to install, so let's click on the install button on both accounts. The installation usually takes a minute or two, so I'll fast forward that part and return when it's done. We are back, and the installation on both GoDaddy and SiteGround is successfully completed. Clicking on the public URL will bring up our new site, and so does typing our domain name in a browser. That's for GoDaddy. The same goes for the admin dashboard. Clicking on the administrative URL here will bring up WordPress dashboard. And that's basically it. We've just installed WordPress on Cpanel. So that's all for this time. For more tutorials, video guides, and free resources, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and of course visit my website, thejournalistit.com. Thanks for watching.